Ciao, mi amici. That's my friends. Hello, my friends. I'm taking an Italian class, Paradiso here. So we'll be talking Italian every once in a while. I'll throw in some words, okay? All right, so now we're going to prepare our chocolate almond bonbons. Now this is a tea cookie. The tea cookies are going to be very small bite size. So today we're going to be using a number 100 scoop. So it's maybe a fourth of an ounce or so. I'll double check on that, but it's very small because we just want a bite size, okay? Our ingredients for this cookie is a 50% couverture. Couverture is chocolate that has to be tempered when you're using it. Candy stores, they use it, they have to temper it on the table or they seed it, and you'll read that in your books. But what we're going to be using is the 50%. So it's a semi-sweet chocolate. It's not bitter. The higher the liqueur amount, the more bitter that sugar it has. So we're at 50% couverture right here, which is great. Now we're going to be using a coating chocolate to decorate with. Coating's a little different. It doesn't have cocoa butter in it. It actually has, it's replaced with some type of fat. Might be a big oil or such. So it's a little different. It doesn't need tempering, but you'll see that when we're decorating our bonbons. So we have our chocolate and our milk. We're going to warm that on the stove over here, and you have to watch it really careful because you don't want it to burn. It'll go very quickly, just enough to melt it and set it to the side. Okay, and then again we're going to use creaming method. We'll have our fat, our sugar, and our salt. We'll cream it until light. Then we'll add our vanilla, powdered vanilla, our chocolate mixture to that. Mix it till it's nice and smooth. Sift our powdered sugar, we're going to sift our flour into our batter. Fold that in. Scoop them out, and I'm going to show you that the almond paste that's in this recipe actually goes on the inside of the cookie. So I'll show you how we're going to do all that. But let's get going with our cookie. So we're going to turn on our oven. We have it about 210, our stove. Forgive me. Our stove, we're going to add our milk and our chocolate. So I have it at about 210. You're going to start to see, once it starts to warm, you're going to see the chocolate start to melt quickly. So it's warming that milk, and you might have to lift it off the stove a little. You don't want it to boil or anything. You're just giving it enough to warm it. That's all it's going to take, just enough to melt that chocolate and warm that. Okay? So that's how quick it went. So just stir it constantly. And it just took a few seconds. You know, if you leave it on, you walk away, it's going to burn on you, so you want to be careful. So now you can see our batter, it's the chocolate is nice and smooth to go into our batter. All right, so we're going to set this aside. So now we're going to go with our butter. We have our sugar, and we have our salt. Okay. Okay, again, we're going to be using the paddle attachment. All right. Just put this guy on again. Now you make sure you snap the back end to make sure your bowl is even, so it doesn't rub against, the paddle doesn't rub against the bottom of the bowl on the side of the bowl, or else you'll end up with gray cookies. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to cream this again, and we'll do low speed. I have it on number 2 right now, just to incorporate the butter and the sugar. So now I'm going to turn it up, and I'll probably go, it's on 4 right now. So we're going to let that go for a minute or 2. So we have our chocolate going, we have our flour. So this, while we're waiting, I'm going to show you. So this is, you're going to do the almond paste. So you're going to make, you'll probably get, what, 7 by 28 or 30 of these cookies. They're very small. But what you want to do is get your almond paste and start making the size of a little bit smaller than that. Maybe the size of a hazelnut. You can see that size. Better. Okay. So you want to start making those while you're waiting for your butter and your sugar to get nice and light. Because what you're going to do is once you scoop your dough, you're going to make an indentation in the dough. And then you're going to set one of these on the inside and then wrap the dough, your chocolate dough around the almond paste. And so I'll make a few of these up now so you can see what it's supposed to be. Well, it should be about the same size, of course. So you don't want to go too big. These are very good. Like I said, these just melt in your mouth. They're very tender. Yeah, just a delicious flavor. And of course, if somebody's allergic to nuts or such, you wouldn't want to use the almond paste. Almond paste is made out of almonds, of course, so you'd want to maybe, I don't know, try to figure out something else that you could put on the center. Have to think about that one. But okay, so that's good to go. All right, so we're going to scrape this down a little. Looks good. Nice and light, just like we want. Again, your butter should be room temperature, and of course we'll have our ingredients at room temperature, so your butter will be perfectly good to go when you come into class. Okay, so we have our butter mixture, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. So you want to make sure you scrape everything off your paddle. Butter's expensive, so you want to make sure you get all you can off there. Any products, chocolate and such, it's very expensive, and so you want to make sure you're not wasting your employees or your money. So you be careful with that. Okay, get as much as you can off. There we go. All right, looks good. Okay, so there's our butter and sugar. It's nice and light, as you can see. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to add our chocolate. And because the pot is still a little warm, the chocolate doesn't harden or anything. It has the milk in it, so it's very nice. So I'm going to add that. To our butter. Looks good. I love chocolate. It's so good, and it's good for you. Of course, not in abundance, but it is good for you. Okay. All right. So, have the butter, chocolate. I'm going to throw in the vanilla powder, so it gives a nice flavor. So again, you want to make sure that you don't have any chunks of butter anywhere. It's nice and smooth. Your batter's nice and smooth, or else you will get big chunks when you're trying to scoop out, and you don't want that. So, okay. So this is what our chocolate batter looks like. You can see that. Okay, so now I want to sift in, of course, is our flour. Everything else is in there. Again, I use the strainer because it's much easier than a tall round sifter. It does the same thing. So put these dirty dishes underneath the table. Okay, so I'm going to fold this in, and I turn the bowl on its side. Use the handle, of course. It's so much easier. You can get on the bottom of the bowl. You can scrape the bottom of the bowl while you're going around, and all that flour is going to get absorbed. And looking good. Very nice. So now it's combined. You don't see any pieces of flour, there's no chunks of butter. There we go. So we have our batter here, our nice, just right. Look how nice our dough. So this is what your dough, this is what you're going to be working with for your chocolate bonbons. Okay, again, here, let's get rid of this spatula for now. Put it to the side. Okay, so we have our almond paste. We have them ready to go. So this, the way I like to do these is so much easier. So again, use the side of your bowl. You're going to scrape them out, drop it. So now you have, here I'll do a few. So what you want to do is, they're nice and round already, right? They look pretty good. So what you want to do, I'm going to try with, and see, so things in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we'll go with those. We're going to start with that. Okay, so you take these guys, you can round them just a tad, set them down. You know, if your doughs should be just right, you can round them. So you know which ones are not rounded. You're going to put an indent in each one with your thumb. Okay, then you're going to put your almond paste